And he is a Republican running for Congress in New Jersey's 9th congressional district. Billy Prempeh is here to talk about the decision by the Democrats on the Passaic County Board of Elections to block the use of security cameras in voter ballot storage areas and more. Good morning to you, Billy. Good to have you on.
Thank you for having me, Ken.
So, thank you. So, what is this about? Why would anybody think it's a good idea to prevent the public from seeing what are public documents, somebody's election ballots? Why would you not want security cameras? Democrats seem fine having surveillance video outside of everything else, but election areas? Why?
And that's the baffling thing is we were told over and over and over again during the 2020 election, for example, when President Trump questioned the results of the election, they said that it was the most secure election we've ever had. The vote by mail ballots was the most secure election ever. Now that we're outside of the pandemic and ballots are being stored in our county buildings, we should only have people that are authorized to work in a board of elections to have access to these rooms. But unfortunately, we can't even allow the public to see it with surveillance camera. And to make things even more concerning is it's the Democrats that are trying to prevent login sheets to let everybody know who's going in and out and having access to these ballots, which only opens the door for more nefarious behavior to happen during our elections.
And they're also against the use of voter ID, which is funny because I'm down in Florida part time, and in Florida right now we're in New Jersey, but in Florida when I'm down there, we've had voter ID laws as long as I've been there. I've been there since 1998, and you are issued when you first register, you're given a voter ID card. When you go to show up to vote in person, you show that card. If you don't have the card with you, then you need two forms of other ID. But it's been part of the process there forever. Nobody has complained in Florida that they've been deprived the right to vote. If, by the way, you don't have the right ID, they still let you do voting by a provisional ballot, and then you come back and show that you do have ID. So they make it fair. There's a way to do it. But they clearly don't want people to vote with ID in New Jersey for a reason.
And that's the thing that's really baffling to me because if we live in a secure if we have a government with a secure election process, nobody would be questioning these kinds of things. I think that it makes common sense that if the people's vote is to be trusted with the board of elections, we should have the right to be able to see these ballots, see what's happening at any given time. And if there's ever an opportunity for the chain of custody to be broken, it only allows for these kinds of scenarios to happen. I mean, for example, during the 2024 election, we had some discrepancies going on in our race, and I recently released an audio in response to what the NJGOP was talking about. They had concerns with the security of our ballots, and we actually had someone who we saw on social media who was able to post images of ballots that were supposed to be secure, that were not supposed to be tampered with. He posted it on social media. I decided to reach out to him and ask him several questions. And I released this audio. And for the record, I don't think that the person in that audio was responsible for any of the things that happened. In my opinion, it seemed like it was more of a cry for help regarding some of the things that he did see. Because being that the current Democratic chairman, John Kerry, is also on the board of elections, he had some kind of tie through his mother with him. And I think he was trying to share some information that he believes that people needed to get out there. And I'm actually glad that he did do that. And he was forthcoming enough to have that conversation with me because a lot of this would have never been brought to light. And I think that people should really pay very close attention to this. And I hope that the members in Trenton make the right decision.
Yeah, this is the thing too. What gets me is, look, lots of good Democrats. I know lots of good Democrats. I'd say the vast majority of Democrats, they just want to fair. They just want to go fair and square. They want it. They want to go in the race like the Republicans do. So this is not a party-wide thing. But there are clearly some people who feel that, you know what, we control the governorship, we control the assembly, we control the Senate, we control the state Supreme Court, we have 9 of the 12 congressional seats, we have both U.S. Senate seats, yada, 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 we have the governor, so that we could get away with what we want because nobody's going to investigate us. And I think that's part of the problem. So you have a few people at the top who think that if I do something, no one's going to check, so why not? This is the problem, just like in New York City, when you have one party controlling everything, there are no checks and balances.
Exactly. And the thing that I think is interesting is like, listen, if the chairman of the Democratic Party wants to be on the board of elections, then I think you should also forfeit that position. I don't think that someone who's in charge of the party should have that much influence. That's something that's been the case here in Passaic County since I was even a concept in my parents' mind before I even got to this planet. But that always seems to be the case. And I think that so long as we keep having the muddling in between parties, we have a singular party rule for the most part, not just here in Passaic, but across the state. We're going to continue to see things like this. That's why I'm looking forward to the election of Jack Ciattarelli at the end of this year. One of the things that's a top priority for him is requesting voter ID. But in order for that to happen, we're going to need to secure the assembly. And I'm encouraging everybody to make sure they get out and vote. Early voting begins September 24th. That's this coming Saturday. Make sure you get out there and vote. And election day is November 4th. We have the opportunity to secure our elections, secure our state. So make sure you get out there and vote for Jack Ciattarelli and the Republican ticket.
You know, it's fascinating. Nothing irks me more than when I hear people say, "Yeah, I went out and voted. I voted for the president. That's all I vote for. I don't care about everything else on the ballot." I get incensed. I'm like, what is the point of voting for the top of the ticket and not the other seats? Because that person is not, as we just found out this weekend, is not the king. And because they have to work with a state assembly and a state senate. You have to give them the team, whether it be the left or the right, in order for them to have the ability to get the job done. By the way, here's a quick aside. A friend of mine dug up 2012 tweet back when it was Twitter, a 2012 tweet saying that a poll of Democrats, have you seen this? A poll of Democrats showed that a majority of Democrats in 2012 said that they wish Obama was king. Isn't that funny? I'll send you the tweet when we get off. So, Democrats in 2012 said they wanted a King Obama, and if they could make that happen, they would. And it's most of the same people who are saying, no kings, this weekend when they say Orange Man bad. I just found that entirely hysterical. Anyway, you are still running for Congress, sir, but your race is for next year. How are things looking in the long haul? Do you feel the vibe shifting one way or the other?
Absolutely, and I see that happening not just in my race, but also in the gubernatorial race. I mean, statewide, people have been fatigued by what the Democratic Party has been doing for the past couple of years. They claim to support the people, but when you look at the surface of it, they're going against the interests of what the American people actually want. I mean, for example, even with this leaked audio recording that I put out on my social media yesterday, now there's members in the Senate that are trying to vote to remove a single party recordings, which would allow you to continue to record conversations so long as they're consent of one party. And the question that bothers me is if they had nothing to hide and everything is on the up and up, our elections are secure. Put a camera inside the room. I mean, if we have the right to record conversations and if this exposes the nefarious behavior of some people, then I don't think that that should be limited as well. When I see the Democratic Party operating in that way, it shows me that not only do you want this chicanery to continue, but you want to continue to cover it up and strengthen it. And I think that that's wrong. The American people are waking up to that, and the people in New Jersey are willing to take their chances with a party that they've been lied to for many, many years. And now they have the opportunity to see something differently. Our party has been bringing that to the forefront, and I look forward to helping flip this state red.
Billy Prempeh, 5 words. Daylight is the best disinfectant. If you have nothing to hide, right? Let everybody see. There's no reason. Let's be totally transparent. He is a Republican running for Congress in New Jersey's 9th congressional district. Billy Prempeh, thank you for coming on this morning. By the way, that's the Patterson area for those who don't realize what the 9th district is. Always good to have you on, my friend.
Take care, brother.
You bet. You bet. Definitely. You too.